G'day, I'm Paul Wade, a former Socceroo captain. Mental health is becoming a major issue all over the world, and I've been through some of it. I have epilepsy. I was having seizures all my life. It's close to my heart. I know exactly how it feels not to want to get up in the morning. I sat down with Nield, a teacher in Sydney just recently, to talk about all the things that he went through. Mental health, a major problem all around the world. When did you realise that you had a mental health problem?
Good question. So first time I realised I had a mental health issue, or the first time I can remember it, was about 10 years ago. So it's actually pretty much on my 50th birthday, which should be a fun time. And just thinking back on it now, my wife had organised a weekend away. Fantastic. Avoca Beach, love surfing, couldn't be better. They had to push me into the car to get me from work to Avoca Beach. I was that depressed, so depressed. So we got in the car, we drove to Avoca Beach. We got out, there was a nice apartment just across the road from the water. Couldn't have been better. That night, I remember going out to dinner, and surprise, surprise, I walked in through the door, a couple of little tables, then a big table. At the big table, my family, my best buddies. I just didn't want to be there, okay? Didn't want to be there. Next morning, surf time. Surf time, great, fabulous. I'm with my mates, with my family, the surf's up, it's a sunny day. I can't get out of bed, don't want to be there. Blanket over the top, everything's dark, and it always will be. Always will be. That's the thought. Did get dragged out, did get into the surf. No, didn't have a good time. That was the beginning of a year which I lost, a year to depression. Later on in the year, hypomania took over, and that's very hard to explain.
Well, I was just about to ask you that. What is it like? How does it feel? Can you explain to us what you go through with?
Yeah, the hypo, it's just below manic. I would say that I'm bordering on manic at times, there's no doubt about it. And you don't have a lot of control over mania. It's very difficult to explain. I've been in tears trying to explain to my best buddy, my brother, another friend, exactly what hypomania is about. Very difficult. People don't get it. They understand depression, but they really don't get hypomania. So I don't sleep. I can get by 2 or 3 hours per night, and I can do that for weeks at a time. I'm thinking, yep, 2 hours sleep, 3 hours sleep, I can get heaps done. So I'll start 5 projects, working on my job, working on other things. I'll get nothing finished. So you're disorganised, you are hopelessly just out of sync, and people are pushed away because you talk over the top of others. Your thoughts and your ideas take front of stage, so everything's about you. So the people who are looking from the outside, their perception is one of somebody who's self-centered, they're selfish, they ignore other people, okay? And that's what it's like, it's exactly that. You don't mean to be like that. You really don't mean to be like that. That's not the intent, but selfish is how it's perceived. So you're pushing away family, you're pushing away friends, and these are the people you need.
So where are we in Australia at the moment with regards to mental health, and where do you think we'll be in 10 years' time?
Currently, we've got 20% of the population who experience a mental illness. Not a mental health concern, but a mental illness. So at any given time throughout the year, you've got 1 in every 5 people. It's increasing. Okay, the suggestions are that it's going to come up to maybe a quarter of the population, 1 in 4. So that's immense.
So what can we do in Australia to help?
On a personal level, which is important, and we need friends and family involved here. The person with the mental illness will not be able to do this, without support. 75% of men that's with a mental illness, do not seek help. So they're stuck in that situation, not somewhere where they want to be. So they need to be lifted out, they need support. The 3 L's, if we talk about it that way. The first one would be to learn what it is that we need to look for, okay? So you're talking about signs and symptoms, and these are ongoing. So it wouldn't be like grief or maybe sadness because your bunny rabbit got run over, or your dog. We're looking at, maybe the sadness for depression. You start thinking about it after 2 or 3 weeks. You're sort of thinking, there's something wrong here. They won't necessarily recognise it as a serious problem, but we need to learn about it, okay? That's really important. We need to listen. We need to listen to what they're saying. Again, it's sort of signs and symptoms. We know what they are, but what we're talking about is actually reading it. So being aware of, that person's situation. Looking after each other really is the most important thing. I think you mentioned live before. We do have to live, and you need to look after this person, and it needs to be ongoing care. You walk away, they're done. They're finished. Okay, it's not a good situation.
If it's your outlook then, can you finish with the dad joke to cheer us all up?
Oh, got a good one.
Go.
I came back to my car one day and there was a ticket, just a piece of paper, and I said, oh, wonderful, someone's complimented me on my parking. Parking, fine.
Oh, geez.
Sorry.
Can we cut that?
Thanks, Wadey, for the opportunity to talk about some of the issues in my own mental illness journey. Thanks for listening. Cheers.